Not an unreasonable question. It's not attached, and the reason is this is a very well insulated property, but when it was being refurbished about 10 years ago, the landlord has done it completely sympathetically to the time period in which it was built, and the shell is really old, as you can tell from the beams. All this is lime plaster, and he's done it to avoid damp so that the house breathes properly. And this is an outside wall. There is no insulation in the wall. He probably could have done it, but it would have made this room especially very, very small. Now, there's about a foot up in the ceiling there, and there's lots everywhere else, and it doesn't really bother us anywhere else, but this particular corner never gets the sun, because where are we thinking? West is about there. South is, I'm pointing south, so north is behind me. Doesn't get the sun, which is fine, but what it does mean is it never really, the brickwork never really warms up, and although you can't see it, the wall here is quite thick. It's thick, very soft brick. I mean, very soft brick as well. You know, I mean, it's the reason when you look at the house from the outside, it looks so lovely is because it's really old soft brick with lime plaster in it. This is lime plaster, and this he has not renewed. This is original. You can see that there's he's taken off various layers of interestingly coloured paint. He has replastered the ceiling. I think originally there would have been like a plasterboard ceiling in here of some description. Weirdly, I did know the house before he bought it and split it, because I worked a couple of times for the old man who owned it, but he would never let us upstairs. Nice old, well, actually, I liked him, but he was a very peppery old man. But yes, probably I don't need it all the time, but because it's not attached to the wall, it's really pushed in there, and I have crates with my summer clothes in them under the bed, because obviously I don't have a lot of storage. I'm trying to clear my stuff out now, and so it just stays there 24. It just stays there all the time, and it just makes it more comfortable for me, especially because my sleeping companion, she starts the night down at the bottom of the bed over the covers, and then sometime about 2 o'clock in the morning she gets cold, so she stands up and she gives me a nudge, and I have to wake up and I move that way, and I have to open up the duvet for her, and she comes down and she puts her head on my pillow, and she lays down next to me. She's the little spoon, and I cover her up with a duvet, and then for the rest of the night I'm jammed in. This is a 3-foot bed. I've got about 12 to 14 inches of bed, and my back is up against that wall, and obviously she's quite hot because she's a dog and they run hot, so I can get quite hot, and there's nothing worse than at 3 o'clock in the morning waking up overheated because you and a hot dog are under the duvet, and you kick the duvet off your back to cool down and have an ice cold wall, whereas as it stands like this, I can kick the duvet off so that I can cool down without her she doesn't like getting a draft in the night. If she wakes up because she's cold, she grumbles, so I keep her well tucked in, and then I'm quite warm. But yeah, it's not 100% necessary. For about 70% of the year it's not necessary, but it's just too much of a ball ache to move.